In this video, I am completely transforming this outdated cedar chest that we found at the thrift store. I threw out the nasty cushion and started taking the chest apart. I removed the lock the second that this thing came home with us because they were recalled a while ago after some major tragedies. And then I busted the trim off of the lid and I flipped it over to remove the base of the chest. Instead of just being attached with screws, everything seemed to be glued in place too. So that was fun, but it wasn't anything that a hammer couldn't fix. I also took off the trim that looked like a vine for those leaves. Then I filled all of the holes in, the damage that I created, and those terrible leaves in with some quick wood. This quick wood is way better than wood filler is, and it's really easy to use. Then I realized I never cleaned it, so I cleaned it all off with some crud cutter to make sure there wasn't any oil, grease, or dirt on the surface. After an hour, the quick wood was dry, hard as a rock, so I sanded it all down flush with the wood with 150 grit sandpaper. I also took the opportunity to sand everything lightly with 220 grit sandpaper to help the paint stick. Then I cleaned up all of the dust and I sprayed some clear shellac all over. This is my favorite primer to help paint stick, but also to block bleed-through stains that can come through the paint in the forms of stains that just honestly won't go away. It has worked great with every single paint that I have tried it with. I like to let it dry overnight to give it the best stain blocking ability though. So the next day I painted this cedar chest in a house and canvas color called Underground, and I used my $10 round zebra paintbrush. Of course, once I got the paint on, there were more spots that needed to be filled, so I filled those in, and then I sanded everything a little bit to remove the brush marks that were left behind. Then I cleaned everything, sprayed more shellac since I sanded so much, and then I painted another coat of paint. After the paint was dry, I top coated the chalk paint with my favorite water-based polyurethane and my paint sprayer. But I sprayed too much poly, so I brushed the excess away before it dried, and I had to fix that little boo-boo. Oh, and I attached new little feet to make it taller again. And here is what it looks like now. What do you think of the new look? I'm curious, would you have picked these feet?